5 unsuspecting things that are keeping your home from selling when it hits the market. And they're unsuspecting, meaning they're not your typical run-of-the-mill things that a lot of people talk about. Number 1, yes, a deep clean. And I'm not talking about just straightening up like you typically do. I'm talking about getting into the nooks and crannies of your house. Window sills, we're talking about baseboards, cobwebs, degreasing your cupboards, all those things that I'm looking for when I walk in a house. Oftentimes when I talk to my colleagues, we all talk about looking at the baseboards and how important it is to get those clean. Just all those little nooks and crannies well beyond what you typically focus on. The second thing is first impressions. That front door matters. When we're pulling up and we're opening up that lockbox and we're assessing, we have a minute or two to kind of look at what we're about ready to walk into. Does that front door look clean? Does it have paint that's peeling? Is the door handle itself, whether it's brass or whatever material it is that also peeling and not looking so great? Did you sweep out all the leaves and debris that gets kind of caught in that front door, area? Wiping down any moldy spindles that are on like the front banisters. Maybe they even need a fresh coat of paint. Replacing any doormats. Doormats are usually a place that traps a lot of pet hair or dirt, just cleaning that up. Anything you can do to spruce it up and clean it up so when you show up, it just makes that instant appeal instead of somebody having a little bit more of a judgmental eye as they're sort of evaluating your house once they get in the door. The third one, pet paraphernalia. I own pets and I get it. We all love our pets, but we need to have a plan when we hit the market. You need to start thinking about packing it all up. Everything from the cat houses to the dog toys, especially litter boxes, food items, all that stuff needs to have a plan to be hidden once the house hits the market. There are a lot of people out there that quite frankly are allergic to animals, or even though they may not be allergic, they sort of start to wonder if your pet has maybe done some things to the house that they're not able to see. They start looking a little more critically at your floors, especially your carpets, for any stains. And the other thing they start doing is smelling. They want to see if they can smell any hint of pet odor in the house. And that sort of takes away from them having a really unique experience walking through your home and started placing furniture. They start to worry about what's the pet done to damage the home. Sometimes our pets do, a number on the weather stripping that goes around our doors. Sometimes they pull it back or they kind of make those marks with their claws or nails on doors. So maybe your door either needs to be replaced or it needs touch-up paint. Whatever you need to do to sort of make it almost feel like you don't have pets. We need to address that because people will make a judgment call in their heads. Maybe they don't even vocalize it, but it's pretty important to make sure that we make sure our pets don't look like they're living in the house, not us. The fourth thing is landscaping. It's time for a big overhaul, and I'm not just talking about mowing the lawn. I am now talking about something similar to what we do to our homes, a big, deep clean. All those little edges, edging, pulling back all the leaves that get caught in different areas, making it look like clean lines around the lawn. It's also about pulling back and trimming bushes and hedges, making those things look more defined and orderly, especially if you're coming out of the winter months or spring and you need to really make sure things don't look like they are just dropping all over the place and kind of collecting. It's really time to do exactly what I mentioned with the deep clean in the house to your yard, but maybe more so than what you're used to dealing with. Always a good idea to maybe even hire a landscaper to come in and do a big sweep and just do these things for you if you don't have the time to really do them yourself. And a lot of times we just don't always see what other people see. I find that's really common with people when I talk about, getting their properties ready for sale. They don't smell their house anymore. They don't really see what we're seeing. And it's hard for them to have sort of a clear viewpoint of what they need to get their property looking like. And a big one for me is a fresh pop of bark dust. Once you have the yard all spick and span and clean and, edges done, there is nothing better than having a fresh coat of bark dust put down to make all the green and everything pop. So definitely need to look at your yard as one. And last but not least is paint. Now, I know we talk about paint a lot, but I'm talking about not just the walls, but two areas that often get overlooked. And that once again goes back to baseboards. I'm always looking at baseboards and trim work because if it's nicked, damaged, maybe it has, grime on it or whatnot, maybe it's time to freshen up those baseboards with a fresh coat of paint. Also, ceilings. Oftentimes when you paint a wall a fresh color, the ceilings start to look more yellow and dingy. I see this happen quite a bit. Sometimes you walk into a room and the ceiling is tall telling of how long it might have been since your house has seen a fresh coat of paint. So white pop ceilings are a fantastic way to update the house, make it feel fresh, draw the eye up. Sometimes you have the same color of paint on the ceiling as you do on the walls, but a fresh white coat of paint will draw the eye up and make the room feel bigger and more open. So in addition to looking at wall colors, think about ceilings, think about trim work and baseboards. All of that stuff will really show off your home and make it feel fresher, lighter, and ready for sale. Those are my top 5 inconspicuous ways you can get your house ready that are, not typically what we mention when we're talking about getting houses ready, because we talk about the fun stuff like staging and all that. But these make such a difference.